Coming up on this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we get a glimpse of the 26th annual Woods Hole Film Festival, check out the Falmouth Commodores' new press box, step into the world of two local painters, watch our community come together to combat drunk driving, and take a tour of a world-famous race course. All this and much more on this edition of Falmouth in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm Deborah Rogers, CEO of Falmouth Community Television, and I'm delighted to be your host. We start this episode at the Woods Hole Film Festival. Since 1991, the festival has grown from a single-day invitational to an 8-day long cinematic marathon, and FCTV was there early to give you a preview of what's to come and highlight the relationship between the film festival and its science-conscious location in Woods Hole.
So the Woods Hole Film Festival was started 26 years ago by another friend of mine and me in order to show two short films that we had made, and at that festival we also included the work of three other filmmakers. So we had basically had 5 short films, 1 day, 1 hour, packed to the gills. Each of those filmmakers is now still making film. They're very important in the independent film world. And the festival has grown from that 1 day, 1 hour event to now an 8-day festival that's internationally renowned. As I said, people come here from all over the world. We get more than 1,000 films submitted to us each year to create the program that we present. What makes the Woods Hole Film Festival special, and the reason why people have wanted to come here and why it's grown, is in no small part to the fact that we're in Woods Hole, one of the most interesting and creative places anywhere.
I think that's what makes this festival really unique and hard, probably impossible to duplicate in a lot of places, is it is a combination of a lot of things. It's a combination of, the hard work and dedication that Judy is, who started this 26 years ago, has done, but the whole village comes together to help put this on, and the village being what it is just an amazing place for people to come and be a part of this. And again, what's going on with the scientific community here, I think it's lightning in a bottle, really.
So we try and engage the scientific community to work with us. And this year we have a huge opportunity in our opening film called Chasing Coral. 2 scientists from the Woods Hole Oceanographic are going to be here after that screening to discuss their work in corals. We also have a panel on science and storytelling. We have some great screenwriters and filmmakers and scientists coming together to talk about how we can make better films about science so that we can create opportunities for filmmakers and scientists to work together. We also have an incredible panel on new realities in storytelling, and that panel is going to bring together people who are at the vanguard of virtual reality and augmented reality to talk about how those kinds of technologies are going to be used to advance storytelling functions.
So the panels are, it's always part of what we do, since we have a lot of filmmakers here, to provide a lot of exposure for them to talk about the craft, but also for them to learn from other people, who might be a little bit further along in their careers. So this year we have an amazing panel, and it's an incredible group of people coming together to talk about science and storytelling. Screenwriters from Star Trek and Heroes will be here with our filmmakers from the Mars Generation and Annie, along with some amazing scientists from Woods Hole, because they're doing some just mind-blowing things in Woods Hole now. So all these people really starting a good conversation that we hope to continue well beyond the festival as well. So our festival schedule and all the films and information are available on our website, and that's www.woodsholefilmfestival.org. We're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as well, so we're always promoting what's happening.
The festival runs July 29th until August 5th and features screenings, workshops, and panels covering a multitude of topics. Thanks to Alan Russell for that coverage. The Eric Palmer press box at Gov Fuller Field recently underwent some major renovations, moving it further from the backstop, adding a shed expansion off the back, and a new second-story deck. The new press box was memorialized with a dedication ceremony held at the field prior to the July 10th game against Bourne.
In April of 1989, Eric Palmer, a student at Springfield College and baseball player from Falmouth, Mass., was taken from us after an evening out with friends. In his honor, the Eric Palmer press box was erected and dedicated at Gov Fuller Field. Tonight, we would like to welcome the Palmer family to the field to participate in this dedication in memory of their son and brother Dick and Corolla Palmer and Lori Haley. Over the years, the wear and tear deteriorated the press box to the point of almost being unusable, and in 2013, Falmouth Commodores raised funds to make the press box improvements. Regardless of the condition of the press box, each summer it continued to be used for broadcasting Falmouth Commodores games. In 2008, Pat Loftus developed and formalized the Falmouth Commodores internship program focusing on broadcasting and media. Each summer, Pat would welcome a new class of interns into the program and mentor them as they sharpened their skills. After Pat's death in the fall of 2016, the broadcasting area of the press box was dedicated and named Pat's Loft in recognition of Pat's service to these young people in the Falmouth Commodores. Following that dedication, 1 year ago, Pat's family, friends, and many members of the Minot Yacht Club raised over $22,000 to begin the renovation of the broadcasting area of the press box. We would like to welcome those donors as well as the chair donors to the field. Representing the donors is Marty Loftus, Pat's younger brother. Marty and his family donated countless hours raising funds and over the winter working on the shack renovation. And throwing out the first pitch for Marty is Tommy Fleming.
The Commodore's Press Box project is part of a multi-phase plan to improve the facilities at Gov Fuller Field. Thanks to Chris McNeil for that piece. Falmouth artists and husband and wife team Doug Rugh and Hillary Osborn are painters who take the picturesque beauty of Cape Cod and filter it through their own creative perspectives. In this piece, we learn about their techniques and the impact of art in today's world.
You know, we've had plenty of times where it'd be easier to just do something else, but and even if you think, today it may not be that interesting, the next day, you come in and you see something, you're like, yeah, that's why I do it, because it's the things that resonates for us. So you have, if you're going to become a doctor, you like to help people, or you find that interesting. We think being an artist is the most important thing we can do, right? And and I think, I remember when I was young and I'd go into a museum and see a painting that was incredible. To me, that's like the most awesome thing in this world, right? That's why I want to become an artist. And I don't think other people feel that.
You also have to have a really strong sense of integrity for the work that we do.
Yeah.
It's very important
And
that you
discipline.
believe in what we do. And you follow through, and that you work every day at it, and you don't undermine yourself or other artists. But it's important
Valuing what they do.
that artists don't feel that it is just a luxury to do art. It's not. It's something that it's a human expression, it's a creative expression, and there should be a way for artists to make a living, and that's, I think, what we're trying to do here.
But people get a lot out of it. You can tell by the people who come in.
It's a continual study of just the beauty that's before us that we really take for granted every single day. How many people do we see on their cell phones these days, or engaged in something that is removed from their immediate environment? I feel really strongly that that's why I'm a painter. It's to engage with the real life. What's my environment? What's going on around me? What's the beauty that's here? And to share that with other people. It's very powerful. And so powerful that I can be out painting and almost be in tears because of something that I'm seeing that I feel is so momentary and going to be gone in a second, and yet here I am in the presence of it and I'm witnessing it, and hopefully I can somehow share that, capture it, and give it to somebody else.
Well, that's it. I have a friend who's a guidance counselor, also an artist. He always, the kids who want to be artists, he told them to quit, because the ones that didn't quit, we're going to be able to get somewhere with it,
They'd have a lot
So
of drive.
it kind of doesn't matter what you say. If you're one of those people, you're going to keep going.
If you'd like to see more of Doug and Hillary's work, their gallery is located on Queens Byway in Falmouth. Thank you to Sandwich Community Television for providing us with that story. There are always topics to report on from Town Hall, and this week is no exception. Here are some updates from recent municipal meetings chosen based on community impact.
In the last Selectmen's meeting, Town Council Frank Duffy was given the opportunity to answer a legal question brought forth to him by the Board of Selectmen. Mr. Duffy was asked for a legal opinion on whether the Selectmen have the authority to direct their appointed representative to the Upper Cape Transfer Station Board of Members on how he or she votes. After a brief history of the Upper Cape Transfer Station and a description of the intermunicipal agreement, Mr. Duffy's opinion is that the Selectmen may not direct their appointed representative to vote in any way. Mr. Duffy continued by stating that the Selectmen vote annually on this appointed representation, and any questions of policy or voting may occur at the time of the appointing. The Selectmen also heard a presentation from the Bikeways Committee regarding the idea for extending the Shining Sea Bikeway through a west-east corridor called Goodwill Park Crossing and Trotting Park Connector. The Bikeways Committee mentioned the need to have Mass DOT involved, as some of the project would be making slight changes to a state roadway. There was much input from the concerned public about this project, and Peter McConerty, Falmouth's Deputy Director of Public Works, also expressed some concern about the need for crosswalks and slowed traffic, though ultimately approves the concept of the plan.
Crosswalk won't do it alone. There's going to have to be some type of lighting. And I consider the crossing at the town council office, that's dangerous. There's skids there every day. That's a 35-mile-an-hour roadway. The state will not put in a crosswalk for anything over 35 miles an hour. They put one in over there. It's a dangerous roadway. We put in the rapid reflective flashes. Some bikers use it, some don't use it. It seems to help. We cleaned up the area, we did the sight lines, but it's still a dangerous area. The trucks come around that corner. We have a lot of trucks coming off the highway. So I think this is going to be a collaborative effort between the town and the state if they want to see this to happen.
The Selectmen liked the plan to extend the bikeway, but stated it's very early in the process and no real concrete plans have been brought forth, and they're pleased to now be brought into the process. Falmouth's conservation agent and Massachusetts Department of Fisheries and Wildlife presented a fire management plan to the Selectmen at their last meeting. Mass Fisheries and Wildlife reported the benefits, reasons, cooperative efforts, and process of a burn plan in such areas as Crane Wildlife Refuge and the Coonamessett River area. The Selectmen voted unanimously to adopt the plan, which is said to be very beneficial to many plant and animal species that currently inhabit these areas.
I know it's effective because I've read that some of these most rare butterflies are only found on military installations because they're always doing these prescribed burns, very organized.
Many rare plants like that also.
Wow. Great. Thank you so much.
Very
good.
Excellent You're welcome.
Presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for hanging in
Now, there is an action required to, before the board, is whether to authorize the town manager to execute the prescribed fire plan.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
To watch any of these meetings in their entirety, please visit FCTV's website at fctv.org to view the programming schedule. Prospective fishermen who don't have access to a boat need not miss out on all the Cape has to offer. On this edition of the Falmouth Fishing Report, Andrew Burke explains how to catch striped bass from the ease of the shore.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Falmouth Fishing Report, brought to you by myfishingcapecod.com. I'm your host, Andrew Burke, and today we're going to run through how you can catch big striped bass from the beach in the heat of summer. Here we have My Fishing Cape Cod founder and creator Ryan Collins fishing a foggy Cape Cod morning.
In these conditions, I like using spook style lures.
Spooks are a classic striped bass lure. They work best in calm conditions, when the fish may spook easily. All you have to do is pump the rod at a controlled pace, which will cause the lure to zig and zag across the surface, also known as walking the dog. It can be achieved while holding the rod at a 45-degree angle or sidearm.
Oh, there we go. That's the fish I was hoping for. Oh my, this is a big boy. Oh my gosh, what a nice fish. Oh, on the spook. Oh, what a monster. Oh, wow. Oh, what a beast. Oh, I've been catching little schoolies all morning. Look at this fish. He's coming right out of the water. Wow. Oh, wow. Look at this fish. What a beauty. Oh, man. Come here. Oh, oh my goodness. This guy's a monster. Oh, on the spook. Oh, what a beautiful fish. What a fish. Wow, that's a surprise.
I've also had some success on spook lures this July. They have a knack for pulling big fish from seemingly out of nowhere.
Gotta keep them away from the rocks. Oh, wow.
If you're fishing during summer, you should definitely have at least one spook in your tackle box. It can really pay off. Good spook lures on the market include the Muskie Mania Dock, the Gibbs Wave Walker, and the Hedden Zara Spook, rated for saltwater fishing.
Wow, that's a really nice fish for the middle of July on top water in broad daylight. So yeah, wow, that was a surprise. Let's get him back in the water.
Don't be afraid to get out during the heat of the summer and try to catch some striped bass on topwater. By using spook lures, especially around boulder fields, you can really surprise yourself. Check out myfishingcapecod.com for the latest fishing reports for Cape Cod.
Thanks to Ryan Collins of My Fishing Cape Cod for that submission. Right now, we're going to take a break to learn about an adoptable cat from People for Cats. When we come back, we'll stop by a community run with an important message, hear from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute about a special ship in their fleet, and learn the history of some historic race locations here in Falmouth. Stay with us.
Mr. C is a very handsome silvery gray and white domestic long-hair Maine Coon mixed male. Mr. C is stunning and very sweet. He's approximately 13 to 14 years young, has beautiful silky long gray fur with a white bib, paws, a dot on his nose, and big green eyes. He's affectionate, loves to be brushed and petted, and is quite gentle. He's in good health and should have a number of years ahead of him, so why not come in and meet him? He probably should be an only cat and probably should not be around small children since he does tend to nip a bit. Mr. C has an overactive thyroid for which he gets medication in his food. He also appears to be deaf or quite hard of hearing. Fair warning, you probably will fall in love with Mr. C if you come to see him. The adoption fee for senior cats like Mr. C is half the normal fee. For more information, go to peopleforcats.org.
Welcome back. The 6th annual Run Jack Run was held on the morning of Tuesday, July 4th. The event is held each year in honor and celebration of Jack Purcell, a 16-year-old Falmouth High School student athlete who was killed by a drunk driver 6 years ago.
Today is about celebrating Jack. This July 4th is the 6th anniversary of his death. He was hit by a drunk driver in July of 2011, on July 1st actually. And so we have this as a way to remember him, celebrate him, and just really build awareness in the community of drunk driving and trying to have people commit to not drinking and driving.
He loved to run and he loved soccer, so we put his favorite things together and came up with a soccer-ish run from his high school field, which he played varsity soccer, all the way down the road to where he coached and played rec soccer and had a lot of fun down there. So that's the trail, 1.2 miles. As I say every year when it starts, the beginning, I say, I hate why we're here, but I absolutely love that you're here, because people take time out from their big family things to come here and not celebrate with us, but just kind of hold us together. It's a lot of soccer people. My daughter and son were big in the soccer community, and they kind of glue together, and it's the firefighting community and just our friends. I work the school system, as does my daughter, so we get a lot of school people and just total people that we don't know, but they've read about it and want to come. So it's just really nice, and it makes a really, really difficult day a lot easier, because it takes our mind off it.
This is our whiteboard challenge. We do it every year. This year's phrase is, "We are better together when," and people can write whatever it means to them.
So JAX Pact stands for Positive Alternatives for Community and Teens, and we have a pact, which it's over there. It's an actual book that people can sign pledging not to drink and drive and encouraging others to do the same. So that is kind of the overall thing. Within that group, we have dozens of volunteers, kids, up to adults, and we meet regularly trying to come up with initiatives that either we support or that we can kind of take on ourselves. So all of these initiatives are based on providing positive alternatives, so encouraging youth not to engage in risky behaviors, substance abuse, trying, drinking, that kind of thing.
Well, I just would encourage people, have all the fun you want, but don't drink and drive, because you know, people think about hurting themselves, but you're hurting other people. It hurt a family, it's twin brother. I mean, it's very difficult. Luckily, we have a very close family, and it's just the worst thing that you can do is lose a kid, and hopefully nobody else has to go through what we do.
Everyone's dedication to be here, whether they're volunteering, running, walking, we feel the love. Like, that's kind of what it's about, and otherwise this is a really cruddy day for us. So it kind of brightens my day to be able to be around so many friends and family that it just changes what this day could be, I think, for us.
If you'd like to learn more about JAX Pact and the opportunities they offer to the community, you can visit their website at jaxpact.org. Thanks to Liz Lerner for that contribution. In 2010, the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute was selected by the Office of Naval Research to take command of the Neil Armstrong, a research vessel which uses acoustics as a method for seeking out wildlife hidden in the depths of the ocean. In this piece, we learn about how the process works to bring these denizens of the deep into the labs at Woods Hole.
Well, acoustics has been used a very long time to find fish. The echo sounder, basically it's like a flashlight beam that's looking straight down from underneath the boat, straight down to the bottom. And anything in the water that has a density contrast to the water will create some kind of echo.
To date, most systems have been what we call single frequency or narrowband. The way we think about it is it's like watching TV in black and white. But when you went to color TV, you got a much richer experience, and there's a lot more information.
Narrowband is a single frequency, so like a single pitch. So if you have a tuning fork, you hit the tuning fork on a table, and you're going to hear a single tone. So imagine having a device that not just sends out one frequency, but a whole range. So if you had a whole bag of tuning forks, for example, and drop them all at the same time, you'd have this sound spanning a wide range of frequencies.
You're taking advantage of the fact that different kinds of organisms scatter sound differently as you change the acoustic frequency.
In essence, we use the broadband spectrum to fingerprint the organisms.
So different kinds of things like a fish that might have a swim bladder, will scatter sound very differently as you change the frequency than something like a krill. So we're able to see the krill as well as the fish all with the same device.
What you see can be very different at different frequencies. For example, if you're using very low frequency sound, you're not going to see the zooplankton. So you might think, oh, the ocean is empty. There's nothing here. But then you look at a higher frequency and suddenly you see the zooplankton. People think that there's much more biomass locked down in the mesopelagic zone. It has been grotesquely underestimated.
As a biologist, I want to know ecologically meaningful quantities, like how many animals are there present, what size are they, what kind are they. So typically what we do when we're out on a ship is we have our acoustic devices, and then we complement that with other kinds of independent, what we call ground truthing. So optical devices, cameras, or the go-to is traditional net systems.
So can we check this out?
Depending on where we are in the cruise, we might say something like, there's a really interesting patch of what looks like zooplankton. Let's put a net in and make sure that those are the zooplankton that we think that they are.
So with the nets, we want to be confirming that indeed that what we think is krill, and also we can find out exactly what species of krill we're talking about. So if we have a better sense of where the krill tend to be, what things are feeding on them in those locations, we can perhaps get a better handle on how to manage the ecosystem.
Wow, what's that? A little haddock. Any species that is commercially fished must have a management plan. And to have a management plan, you need to know how that population is doing. Is it increasing? Is it declining? Is it older individuals or are there younger individuals?
Those are the kinds of questions that we can really help people address. Using some of these broadband techniques, it might be a way to sort of present a more complete image of where all the fish are and help with management decisions.
Thanks to the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute for generously providing us with that piece. This year marks the 45th anniversary of the Falmouth Road Race, and in celebration of this momentous occasion, we spoke with marathon historian Paul Clarisi about some of the landmarks of the race course and gained insight into some little-known facts relevant to each location.
Hello, I'm Paul Clarisi, author of A History of the Falmouth Road Race, Running Cape Cod. And we're here in the beautiful village of Woods Hole, where the race starts every year since 1973. We're right outside the Captain Kidd restaurant. Back in 1972, Tommy Leonard had watched the Summer Olympics at the Brothers Fort, where he was working in Falmouth Heights. And Frank Shorter, an American, was winning the marathon, and he shut the taps, watched the marathon, and gave a little bit of commentary to all the patrons who were there. And he thought, wouldn't it be great to get Frank Shorter to run here in Falmouth? And so within the year, Tommy found out that some of the girls in the high school needed money to compete in some extra meets after the school season. So Tommy Leonard, who used to do a lot of pub-to-pub races in Boston with his good friend Eddie Doyle, who worked at the Bull and Finch pub in Boston, also known as Cheers. They would also do a lot of road races from the Bull and Finch to where Tommy worked at the Elliott Lounge in Boston. So he thought, what about having a pub-to-pub race here in Falmouth? We'd start at the Captain Kidd, and 7 miles later in Falmouth Heights, at the Brothers Fort, and we'd raise some money for the girls. So what he did is on his 40th birthday on August 15th, 1973, on a Wednesday, in a downpour, 92 runners huddled inside the Captain Kidd restaurant, waited till the rain sort of subsided, which it didn't, but right in front of here is where the 92 runners lined up, and John Carroll basically told everyone, take off. We're here at Nobsca Point Lighthouse. This is about the 1 mile mark. This is also a favorite area of Sunita Williams. She grew up in Needham. Her parents live in Falmouth. She's an astronaut, and she actually ran the Falmouth Road Race and the Boston Marathon 250 miles up in the sky. She was on the International Space Station. She said one of the big perks is when you're running in space because of no gravity, you could put the water bottle right in front of you and it would just stay there in the air. So she's tethered to a treadmill, and throughout her running, she could just grab the water and drink it and put it there. Welcome to Falmouth Heights, the finish line of the Falmouth Road Race. One year, there was a little mix-up of the runners. Ann Hammond was leading the race, and Betty Jo Geiger confused the crosswalk with the finish line, and she gave it her gusto and passed Ann right at the crosswalk and then sort of relaxed. And Ann Hammond sort of awoke, looked at her, and took off down the hill to the finish line here and actually won the race. And Betty Jo goes, oh my goodness, I miscalculated where the finish line was. She came in second place. Also in the early days, which is kind of funny, is that the spectators would bring kegs of beer to celebrate the race and enjoy drinking on the beach. The police obviously didn't like that, so they cracked down. So then the spectators figured out, well, maybe we could sort of bury the kegs in the beach sand, and then the morning of the race, find our keg and put the taps. So you'd look all the way down the beach, and all you see were just the taps lined up down the beach. But then the police got smart, and they used metal detectors, so that really didn't work too much at all. So I do hope you enjoy this course of the Falmouth Road Race from Woods Hole to Falmouth Heights, from the Captain Kidd to the finish on here at the BBC area. I hope you've enjoyed our little course, and if you run it, enjoy it, and if you're spectating it, enjoy it equally as well.
Be sure to tune in to FCTV at 8 a.m. on August 20th for our live coverage of the 2017 Falmouth Road Race, viewable on Public Access Channel 13 or streaming on our website, fctv.org. Thanks to Chris McNeil for that piece. Hundreds of thousands of families are affected by stroke each year in the United States. In this next segment, we learn how to detect early warning signs using the FAST system and some of the treatment options available today.
A stroke is a sudden change in brain or neurologic function caused by a blockage in a blood vessel. We use the acronym FAST, F-A-S-T, face, arm, speech, and time. And some of the things you can see with a stroke are weakness of the face or face becoming asymmetric. You can notice a change in speech where speech gets either harder to get out words or harder to pronounce words. Or you can see a change with the arm, a limitation of arm strength that goes along with a stroke. The last part, the T for time, is to remind people that if they get to our emergency department quickly, we may be able to reverse the stroke by dissolving the clot in the artery. Not everybody is eligible for this treatment, and it needs to be done in a relatively short period of time. The shorter the better, and never beyond 4.5 hours. If you come to emergency here with symptoms of a stroke, we will rapidly evaluate you. Try to get a CT right away to see if it is something different from a blockage in a blood vessel, and then consider whether we would use a medicine called tissue plasminogen activator, TPA, to dissolve the clot. Sometimes patients with stroke aren't aware of what's happening to them, and it's more evident to those around them. And a lot of times family members or friends are the most important part of getting folks involved in treatment very early.
Thanks to Cape Cod Health News for that piece. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll visit an event that shut down Main Street. Stay with us. Welcome back. Each year on the second Wednesday in July, Main Street in Falmouth is lined with vendors looking to showcase their own special brand of arts and crafts. Troy was there to give us a glimpse of the activities. Here's Troy's take.
Thanks very much. We are here at the Falmouth Arts and Crafts Street Fair. For more than 30 years, hundreds of vendors have descended here upon Main Street. 30,000 people show up to walk up and down Main Street to see what these vendors have to offer. The weather's cooperating thus far. We've got some clouds, but a nice cool temperature. So we're going to spend the day down here visiting with people, meeting the vendors, and just seeing what this Arts and Crafts Street Fair is all about. So Lee, I know the staff was here at 3 a.m. marking the roads with chalk, and Donna and I got here about 7:30, and it was already bustling with activity. This is a pretty busy day. It takes a real coordinated effort on your part to make it happen.
It absolutely does. It's the Falmouth Village Association, the board of directors, a group of people that come together and make this happen, starting at 3 and all the way to 7 o'clock tonight. We're all in it together.
And the staff members from the Village Association, you guys are all volunteers and business owners here in the village that donate your time today, and the money that's raised goes to the good works of the Village Association.
That's absolutely right.
So that's a pretty fantastic effort on your part. What's your favorite part of the day?
Should I say the end? Well, and the interesting thing is I'm not only a staff member. In a couple of minutes I'm changing shirts and I'm becoming Vagabond View photography and showing people our portrait and wedding photography. And my favorite part of the day is talking with everyone, meeting clients, seeing old friends, and having everybody just get really excited about the day. So as the day progresses, the momentum just builds. It's fun.
So it's been a great day here at the Street Fair, Frank. How's things been over at the Black Dog?
It's been a fantastic day. Fantastic. A lot of fun. Great customers. Great experience. We're so excited to be part of this. It's a great time.
Now, you guys are sort of like the epicenter of the Street Fair. I mean, people are lining up early in the morning to get your deals. I didn't have those kind of lines at my booth.
we'd like to think we're part of the center. They just didn't know, Troy. If they had their chance to think about it, they would have been all over yours as well. But yeah, no, we were pretty excited to be part of the excitement today.
Now, you're here in Falmouth Village almost every day, and this is something special. I mean, people come from all over the world, not just to the Arts and Crafts Festival, but to soak in the history of Falmouth Village.
Troy, we that live here should never lose sight of the fact that people spend their whole life to spend 1 week, one vacation time here. It's a great place to be. We're very lucky.
Jewelry, woodworking, T-shirts, just about anything you can imagine, you can get here at the Falmouth Arts and Crafts Street Festival. For more than 30 years, this event has been going on, and people come from all over the world to come visit this downtown location and visit people selling their wares. But what's more important is the proceeds from this actually go to support the Falmouth Village Association and their great charitable works throughout the community. And that's something we can celebrate every day of the year. I'm Falmouth Enterprise columnist Troy Clarkson, and that's my take. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks to Troy Clarkson for that piece. Here at FCTV, we want you to know that television can be as easy as hitting record on your smartphone. We'd like to invite all Falmouth residents and visitors to share their slice of life with us. Email us your photos and videos or upload them to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag MyFalmouth or Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our most recent contributors. We leave you now with the sights and sounds of men's curling at Cape Cod's 48th Summerspiel. Thank you for watching Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.